YouTube is live. Twitch should be starting up here in just a moment. So, da, 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 da. Okay, there we go. All online. Okay, so, uh, let's go ahead and get started. So, last week, everyone landed on the planet Akaton and started uh, uh, meeting the locals. You guys uh, ended up going around and kind of, getting to know, the general area, what's going on. You've encountered these big dust storms that made it difficult or impossible to use the ship in the area. So you guys decided to take uh, a ground transport piloted by a Yosoki named Hammond, who doesn't really speak at all, but is more than happy to go ahead and drive you guys out to the location where you need to go. As you get there, you guys uh, were able to luckily come across the what seems to be the uh, captain's shack. So essentially, some sort of kind of ramshackle little hovel thrown together in the middle of what appears to just be a giant wasteland. Inside of there, you came across some like topographic maps, and in the topographic kind of survey maps of this kind of quadrant of the planet, you're able to uh, you're able to find a couple of areas that were circled, and you've decided to go off and explore them. The one that you decided to go to first was the closest one, which was just to the east of the hovel, probably about a kilometer away. This is a 10 square kilometer uh, area that the captain owned, and that you guys have a map of. Heading over there, you happen to find an area that just kind of stood out as unnatural, and it appears to be, it's almost set up so that you can see it from the air. It's just some, rocks forming kind of like a bit of a D and a V, which would be the captain's initials. And then the V kind of was turned sideways to make it look almost like an arrow. And towards the end of that, you saw some cacti, which weren't really native to the planet. Uh, and then you just kind of realized, oh, they look, if you were from the air, they'd look just like all the other ones. But up on close examination, though, they are different species than what you'd find here. So yeah, all together, uh, you guys have kind of uh, dug down and started, kind of digging in underneath where these cacti are at. And where we left off was the kind of pole going into the ground and kind of probing around and tunking on something hard. So that is where we are at. Does anyone have anything to add or to follow up on? Okay. So, as you guys go ahead and like I said, you're probing around inside the ground. You hear kind of a tunk, which does not sound uh, like a rock or anything like that. It sounds something like something more hollow and metallic. You have the opportunity to go ahead and start digging it out. Who's going to actually do the kind of like the hand excavation? I don't think there were any shovels, no. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so you could just go ahead and just keep, sweeping the dirt away, just slowly pulling away kind of handfuls of dirt, digging around. And as you're doing that, you're starting to see a metallic box show up. It looks pretty worn. It might have been here for quite some time. Okay. Yeah, so as you keep uncovering, the box isn't very large. It's probably, yeah, I'd say about, a little bit over 2 foot, kind of a cube shape. And you're able to kind of get it cleared away to the point where you can see that it is locked with an actual mechanical lock, not even like a technological or electronic lock. It's an old-fashioned like a lock and key style. And then the front of the lock where the key would go into has been covered over with like a wax cap. So it's been sealed up to kind of prevent the dirt from getting in there. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, your kit will work just fine for that. Go ahead and give me an engineering check. Okay. Don't give me a disguise check. He he disguises himself as an engineer. Okay. You could, but you don't really need to. He's gone through and kind of peeled away. Oh wow. Uh, so yeah, he's gone through and yeah, you assisted excellently. Best assistance ever. So, um, yeah, you go ahead and peel away the wax seal. Kind of insert your kit in there, and just go ahead and start sliding around, the tumblers and locking them into place. Uh, pretty pretty actually complicated lock. For an archaic lock like this, it is pretty good quality. And within a few minutes, you're able to go ahead and uh, pop it open. Once you do that, looking inside, you find that there is a vial. I'd say probably it's like a cylinder closed off, probably about the size of probably about a 1 liter cylinder, closed off. Inside of there, you find a lot of slightly uh, off-colored water, and there's some metal flakes inside. That's the main thing that stands out to you. You go ahead and look at that, pulling it out and examine it. When you hold it up under the bright daylight, you get a really uh, like a glinting off of it. Could could be. Sure, you can go ahead and do that. Okay. Ghost that one lives up to his name. At least, at least, yeah, at least you got it out. You got it out of the way. You got to have one every game, right? So now you've gotten it out of the way. Yes. Uh, so you're looking at it, and uh, you know, Ghost One is just uh, kind of like trying to observe the vial, and as he observes it, it basically it slips out of his hands and it goes crashing down into the box and just breaks open. Um, so yeah, but at the very least, you can see that the vial wasn't. It just seems to be water. There doesn't seem to be anything really going on with it. But the metal flakes, as you're as it's now open to easy inspection, you can kind of run your finger through them and pull them out. They're small metal gold or sorry, small gold flakes. So it's water with and there's a few little chunks inside there. So it appears to be that there's some sort of it's just water with gold, which is just a really unusual uh, an unusual combo. You're not sure why. I mean, it would make sense if someone had gold or someone had water, but why would you have the gold with the water? Uh, So there is a lot of industrial and mining that goes on this planet. You guys already know that this is essentially um, I mean, the entire planet is essentially just a giant wasteland that was formerly a huge gold rush planet, but not of gold, just of all sorts of minerals and resources. It's a really mineral rich planet. Uh, I mean, you can go ahead and make a culture check if you want to go through and find that. Okay. Um, the so specifically why gold would be in with water? No, but you do know that water is a very valuable resource on Akaton. So probably if finding a large source of water is probably nearly as valuable as finding a large source of gold here. So, there is groundwater and there is places where you can get it, but especially if you get any sort of uh, like if you were to able to come across an easily accessible pocket of water that doesn't necessarily need to have like electronics or machinery or whatever to pull up, that would be very useful, or some sort of a renewing source of water that you don't have to worry about going away could actually be extremely valuable. But yeah, as far as to why you would have the two of them together, no, it's just kind of odd. Uh, there's no lining to it. It just appears to be kind of a simple metal box. It's well built. Like I said, it has a really good lock. But other than it being well built with a good lock, uh, you know, sturdy, thick. I mean, it's a good secure lock box. But there doesn't appear to be like a false bottom or anything like that. Mhm. This is yeah, this is just a really good quality, strong lockbox that is designed to essentially be uh, it would be something that would be difficult to open if you weren't necessarily the um, if you were more electronic focused, let's say, if you were someone that was more into electronic hampering, this is the analog equivalent of a secure data vault or whatever. It's just a really good, high quality, strong box. Uh, as far as why it would be here, Captain just generally didn't trust technology, so for him, putting anything behind a technological lock, he seems like would not be the wisest choice. So that kind of makes sense with his MO. But other than that, I mean, it's out of place. Just like you wouldn't necessarily find something like this here. But I mean, would you find something like this someplace on Akaton? Sure, there's going to be lots of places where some sort of analog protection is going to be useful. Hmm. Yeah, but having nothing but the water and the gold inside of it, no, there's no notes, there's no um, I mean, as far as you guys see, there's no like, kind of like scratched in messages or anything like that. It's just very, very simple. Uh, it's simply just, water with some gold in it. Let's see here, really quick. Do, do, do. So, uh, yeah, so going through this, like I said, there doesn't appear to be anything else really going on with this box. It is put out there. Uh, where it's not very far from the original cabin. Um, but yeah, as far as this area goes, that's all you're really seeing. You guys can take the box with you if you want. Okay. So you guys gonna load it in the vehicle? Yes. It is environmentally sealed. So basically the way it goes is when you open up the lock, it's kind of got like a cushion underneath to keep it so that the environment inside stays pretty similar. It does not appear to it appears to be watertight essentially. Yeah, it was just yeah, it's kind of just a wax seal. But it's a good pliable wax, so you didn't have to like scrape it away or anything. It's more like a think about it kind of like it's kind of like a piece of putty that was put over it. So you could just roll the putty up and you could roll the putty back down. It doesn't appear to be um, too dried off to the point where uh, it's not pliable still. So okay. So as you guys lift this out and start hauling it off to the truck, you notice that there's actually something underneath where the box was at. I was thinking about that, but no, that wouldn't be very nice. No, actually, underneath where the box was at, there's actually what appears to be kind of a burlap type sack. Like there's like a sack underneath of it. Nope. But in that sack, you find what appears to be kind of uh, like a bug out bag. So you've got a uh, a set of uh, contained rations, about a week's worth of dried, sealed, long-term preserved rations, a water canteen, a holdout pistol, and uh, just a map of the area that appears to be very similar to the one that you guys saw, but not marked up. The one that was in the cabin, but not marked up. So it's basically just a survey map of the area, and there's some actual notes scrambled or scribbled onto the map, and the notes have arrows kind of pointing off in various directions, and they all kind of go from the center of the map. You can see kind of like there's like a center dot in the map, and there's an arrow kind of going off the side of it, but it all seems to be coming from the center, so at the very center of the property. So it's giving you a very exact direction to follow. It has degrees and coordinates on it, and uh, one of the arrows uh, points off, and let me see here. I'm trying to grab it up here for you. Uh, so one of the arrows points off towards the south a bit and says Morrow, and the other one points off to the northwest and says Dal Dawat. Now, you guys came in from the direction of Morrow, but the other one's saying Dal Dawat. Uh, and then the pistol, let's see here. You guys can make a culture check, and I will be happy to share that with you. Make sure you're rolling it in the tower. Hmm. Um, so Zano, you actually this is a curiosity that you are very familiar with. So let me pull that up. So I will tell you this here. Where is it? Okay. So the Akeshtis, if you remember, are um, the reptile people native to Akaton, and I will go ahead and share this with you so you guys can see it. So that's the Akeshti. So the Akeshtis are a nomadic reptile people from Akaton. They have very few settlements, but the most famous of all of their settlements is Dal Dawat. Um, it's on a ridge overlooking the Urkonian Sea, which is kind of like essentially the the oceans on this planet have dried away. So it's essentially the bed that used to be an ocean on the planet, but with no surface water anymore. It just looks like a kind of like a giant, lowland cavern, or not cavern, a giant lowland uh, canyon, I guess would be the best way to put it. Um, so yeah, so basically it's on a ridge overlooking the Arconian Sea. It's a huge sculpture of two intertwined reptiles, and it's a sacred site for the Akeshti. So they see it as a monument of fertility, uh, but also kind of like just like a reminder of their base instincts. So it's a really it's considered to be a really holy site, and lots of the Akeshti will actually make a pilgrimage to travel there, and so it's something that's really a critical thing to their culture, and it's actually not very far from where you guys are at. So there is that. And I'm still pulling up the pistol here. There's like 8 bajillion guns in this game, so I'm. Yep. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and toss this into the inventory here. Um, and then we're gonna. All right, so you guys can see there's on the party sheet, there are 10 rounds of uh, explosive ammo and a rotating pistol tactical on the party sheet. And if I can read you here the description. So explosive ammo is used with projectile weapons and is available for most projectile weapons. A weapon firing explosive ammo deals its normal amount of damage, but with half of the damage fire, and grants the weapon the knockdown critical hit effect. So if you hit somebody with explosive ammo, it will knock them down. If the so you basically with the I believe the way that works is you get to choose whether you want it to do extra damage or do knockdown when you get a critical hit. You correct me on that if I am wrong, but let's see. If the weapon already has the knockdown critical hit effect, it gains the push 5 feet critical hit effect in addition to knockdown. And so that's considered to be part of the weapon's normal critical hit. So there you go. So basically, it's an analog pistol with rounds that will knock people on their butt. Uh, so there you go. Yeah, and yeah, yeah, yeah. And actually, I'm gonna change that explosive to 12 rounds because it does 4 shots uh, per. So basically, 4 barrels. You load a round into each barrel. You kind of close it. So think about it more like a think about like a quad barrel Derringer, if you're familiar with that. So like a break barrel pistol. So it's basically like I said, it's like a holdout pistol. Like, you're gonna basically blast the crap out of whatever walks in front of you. Think about it, it's the pistol equivalent of a sawed-off shotgun. You're basically just pull it out as your last resort for blowing the crap out of anything that gets close to you. So, and yeah, so that's it. Uh, Range is not great. Uh, Damage is 2d4, so probably a little bit more damage, but it's basically very short range and very um, you know high a little bit higher damage and shorter range than normal. Very good for very close combat. Okay. So yeah, that's it. So it appears to be, like I said, it's just kind of like it's a little satchel underneath that with that stuff in it, kind of like a little emergency bug out bag. It's odd that it was stored underneath the container rather than inside of it, but uh, probably makes sense if you wanted to uh, be able to get to it and you might not have your key handy. All right. So with that, were you guys going to go ahead and go over to the north area then? Um, so the northern high ground, it is pretty. So it's at the northern end of the map, but it's pretty centered. So like if you were saying like north, south, east, and west, looking at the map, just like you would normally read a map, it's what's that? Oh yeah. So you go ahead and it's not it's a little bit to the west, not too far, but it's all the way at the very north edge of the property. Yeah, yeah, you guys can load up the truck and make your way up there. So, is there anything else you guys want to do before you head up? Uh, Roll a perception check for what? I'm sorry. Oh, okay. So yeah, the you guys searched the area pretty well in finding this. So in the general area, you're not really finding anything. It doesn't. There's no immediately perceivable tracks. It doesn't look like anyone's been over here. This looks like it was put here, some time ago. Uh, undisturbed for you know, quite quite some time. Excuse me. The seal on the box, it looks like it doesn't look like it's been here for a decade, but it looks like it's probably been here for a couple of years. Uh, so yeah, nothing really seems to be overly disturbed in this area. But the actual nature of this area in general means, any traces of a person being here would be uh, a person would probably be hidden within a few days. Even uh, like a heavy machinery or a landing craft or something like that, they'd probably be gone within maybe a few weeks to a few months. So even like deep impressions would just be covered over from the blowing sands. You don't. Oh, in the hole? No, 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 nothing else specifically in the hole. It was the box when you pulled out the box. There seemed to be a bug out bag underneath it. I mean, you can even spend a little time, you know, digging around underneath it, and there's no other surprises. So, let's see here. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pull a couple things up here. So, are you guys gonna head out to the northern end then? Okay. All right. So, as you guys are making your way up there, you're driving by, trying to find a route. As the first couple kilometers, it's fairly flat, but as you get probably about around the halfway point, about 4 or 5 kilometers into it, the terrain starts getting a lot rockier. Lots of big, uh, just large rocks, some some steep changes in elevation. It almost seems like you're dealing with a very different geological area where you're getting these almost like ridges that are coming along. So the first couple, it's maybe half a meter. It's not that bad. You can kind of push and roll up over it. But as it goes on, these ridges are getting a little bit steeper and it's getting a little bit rockier, uh, to the point where eventually it's getting a little bit difficult for the truck to even find a good path. You're kind of meandering, further to the west and to the east. Kind of think about it almost like kind of what's that called? Where like when you're going up a mountain rather than going straight up the mountain, you kind of yeah, yeah, switchbacks. You're kind of doing switchbacks to try to find an area that has a grade that you can kind of traverse up this area and kind of get to the next area, and you find that it's taking you several hours to even go a kilometer at this point with the going back and forth. You estimate you're probably about 3 kilometers away from the hole. Uh, so if you want to go ahead and head off on foot, you could do foot relatively quickly. What is essentially a little bit harder for the truck to do. I mean, you guys can essentially make a straight shot. So you're talking, 3 kilometers. It might be 20, 30 minutes, whereas it might be, several hours if you're going to make it by the truck. So that, So what you could do is you could ask Hammond to try to meet you there if you want, so that maybe he can get the truck up there. But it's definitely a lot faster to travel on foot at this point. Yeah, this is a long range caravan truck, so they're I mean it can go for days of travel. It's got giant fuel tanks, but the one downside of that is it's not really designed for, mountainous excursions. It's more designed for flatland travel. So he's trying to he's been working his way up and down trying to find places that are going into travel, but it's not really an off-road vehicle as much as it's uh, a uh, it's an off-road vehicle. It's not an all-terrain vehicle. How about that? So okay, all right. So you guys get to that point. Uh, do you want to ask Hammond to meet you there, or do you want to ask him to stay here so you know where he's at? Okay. Yeah, like I said, it's 3 kilometers. Probably. I mean, if you guys try to move fast, I don't know what is that. That's just a couple of miles. So 10 minutes if you're trying to be fast at it, 20 minutes if you're not. So so excuse me. Okay. All right. First thing I would like everybody toss me a perception check in the tower. Um, since you're going to be up higher, Cal, go ahead and give me a perception check at +2. Okay, good. All right. So as you guys end up moving along towards the circle that was drawn onto the map, you end up uh, traveling probably a good 500 meters or so from where you're at. Cal, you remember the Kafox, which were the like the kind of crab centipede-like creatures that you guys encountered earlier. Uh, you see something that looks like one of those, but it looks uh, far more uh, far more significant. It ends up being like a like a very large, sizable version of the ones that you saw before. So let's see here. Okay. So you don't feel that it got a uh it you don't feel that it actually noticed you. It doesn't seem to be moving. It does seem to be sitting there on top of something. You couldn't see what it's on top of, but it seems to be occupied with something and not really paying that much attention to you. So you're able to fly back a little ways and let the others know exactly what you saw. And then when he points it out, you guys can see in the distance. It's actually behind some rocks, so it's a little bit hard to see, and their coloration is very similar to that of the terrain. But once he's points it out, you guys can see where it's at. But like I said, it's behind some taller rocks, so you can just make out the edges of it moving. But yeah, it's essentially the kind of the same thing, but it looks like a much um, a much larger, heavier version of the creatures you encountered before. No, I mean, if you just wanted to stay, uh, several hundred meters, yeah, if you just said, hey, I want to, go a few hundred meters out of the way, it's not going to be that big of a detour from where you're going. You still have several kilometers to go. So, moving, uh, you know, 200 meters to the right, let's say, you're not really going to put yourself uh, out other than the minute or two of walking. But um, let me see here really quick. Is that in Fantasy Grounds? I don't see um, the actual size listed there. Um, let's say it's yeah. Does it? Let me see here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It says oh, okay, they're right there. It says yeah. So it says medium. So we'll say this is bigger than the average man, but it's not huge. But it's also a very large. Even the small ones, they weren't very big, but they were heavy. I mean, you guys felt their carapace what felt like cast iron essentially. So even though this thing is maybe standing up a little bit taller than the average man, maybe 6 foot standing up, it's also a long coiled body, and it probably weighs over 1,000 pounds. I mean, if you had to estimate, it might even weigh over a ton. I mean, they're really really heavy, but without further examination, if it were you could say it's probably maybe cow size, uh, maybe a little bit smaller, but way more dense. So yes, that is true. Uh, so the way that this planet works is that uh, essentially it is littered with all sorts of um, crashed vehicles that were orbital at one point. So some event must have happened at some point, probably during or before or during the gap, where there were massive amounts of spacecraft around this planet. And you got to remember, this planet was essentially like the gas station for the solar system. There's raw minerals on this planet that make kind of the Packed Worlds version of rocket fuel. And this is the only planet that has abundant amounts of it. So this planet was highly scoured and strip mined essentially for that fuel. So there are all sorts of spacecraft and drones and place things craft would come here for refueling and then get caught up in, dust storms and things like that and end up kind of crashing in on the planet. So the planet is pockmarked with these different crashes. And then not only that, since in the millennia since, you have people who have been traversing the planet trying to find these craft. Some of them are, highly sophisticated pre-gap craft too that might have ancient technologies that are of interest to different organizations too. So just finding these craft is a career unto its own. So there are people that go out looking to find these things and scavenge from them, and every once in a while they meet their unfortunate ends, and or their vehicles break down or what have you, and a lot of times that stuff is just kind of left there on the planet. So you'll get anywhere from huge hulking wrecks to crashed satellites to abandoned like for example, if you're the truck that you guys came in ended up having an axle break or something, it might be easier to just leave it there and go get a new one versus to, send out something else, try to risk that and haul it back. So really, it just there's that type of stuff all over the place on this planet. So whenever these things find one of those wrecks, they will sit there and feed from it. It might, if it's something small, it might be the type of thing where they'll feed from it for, a few weeks. If they find something larger, they might feed from it for months or even years. And then if you get something like this, it's probably been feeding a lot. This looks like a huge version of what you were, well, not huge in the size, but much larger version of what you were fighting before. Or burrow under it. Sure. All right, I'm gonna say this. I'm I'm gonna say it like this right now. Nat one has rolled two nat ones in a row. So you might want to not stand close to him when he goes to attack these things. Yeah, have him do something that doesn't involve actually rolling. Uh, we could say it's maybe 300 meters, something like that. Like Cal noticed it off in the distance only because of its really large size. He was able to get higher and see it up over from a lot higher vantage point than you guys. But um, it's not very you guys don't have a great uh, you guys don't have a great visual on it from here. Like I said, it's behind some heavier rocks, and it seems to be hunkered over something. Okay. So you want to position yourself in a oh this the so the way that you're going essentially is you're steadily moving up. So if you kind of circled around past it, you could actually be firing down on it from the high ground, which would give you a lot better visibility than trying to shoot up at it. So if you guys spend a good 10 minutes kind of walking around where it's at, and Cal can be up in the air, just kind of keeping an eye on it. You know, he could probably give you guys a good location. Uh, Gustav, roll me a survival check. We're gonna use survival for positioning yourself. That is one of your good abilities here. Okay. So yeah, you okay. You you go ahead and find a good location up on a rock with Cal's help. On a flat spot with Cal's help, and you're able to have a pretty solid vantage point of it. It takes you guys probably about 10 minutes, I'd say, to circle around and get to a good location. Now, is are the others going to be near you, or how exactly is that going to work? Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, it's daylight. You guys can see just fine. So, yeah, these things are not they're not really intelligent. So they're very simple-minded. They're fairly easy to go ahead and deal with that way. But with that being said, uh, you guys are able to position it. Okay, so let's kind of just get this straight. So I want to pull up the sheet here. Um, Before you guys begin, let's go ahead and have everybody roll initiative, and I'm gonna reset this. I'm gonna just go ahead and set this to, I'm just gonna make sure everyone's had a short rest so that sorry, we're all reset. Go ahead, sorry, roll initiative now. Cal, I can just go ahead and set yours to 20 if I reset it. I'm sorry. Uh, there we go. Okay. All right, so everyone has their initiative. Now it's Gustav rolling the nat ones. Okay, so let's run down the list. Let's see here. So, uh, actually, give me 1 second here. There we go. Uh, Okay. So let's start with Cal. Cal, in relation to Gustav. So Gustav has kind of this flat area where he's able to get lay down and get a good bead on that uh that Kafak. Where are you in relation to him? Okay. So you're going to be 20 feet. Essentially, you're going to be ahead of him a little bit closer to the Kafak, but up in the air. Okay. Well, he was basically just circling around further up north, trying to get the high ground. So the elevation's going up as you're going further north. Okay. You're gonna be off to the side of where he's at. All right. Zano, where are you gonna be at in relation to Gustav? Okay. I, I, okay. Up meaning further up the ridge behind him, not closer to the. Okay. So you're gonna be a little bit in front. Ghost One, where are you going to be? I'm gonna do theater of the mind for this one. Okay. Yep. Yep. You guys are all essentially on higher ground from where this is at. So, okay. Okay. All right. So, since Gustav has the range, he can go ahead and take his time and make a shot. Um, Uh, is there any plans that you guys want to get out of the way before that shot happens? Unless you have something else that modifies it. Oh, uh, okay. So you should have a +2 to your initiative roll. Yeah, it might matter a little bit, but okay. I just upped it. So, what you can do, so I'll, yep. So click on your initiative and then just add a +2 there. Yep. So, yeah, you'll just have to remember to, every time that that goes up, you'll just have to look at your character and say, oh, okay, my initiative went up by 1, and then improve that yourself. But, okay. But I've gone ahead and updated your initiatives, so no big deal there. All right. All right. So you take your shot. As you take your shot, let's see here. You land a solid hit, and you literally hear a as it bounces right off of its hardened carapace. Okay, and then as you're reloading, you hear the horrible, just ground shaking and the ground literally just starts vibrating as this thing steps. Every step feels like a just, a giant machine is just pounding into the ground. And as this thing just starts rolling and just rampaging towards you, you realize that this is a lot bigger and a lot faster than the smaller ones that you were fighting before. So, all right, so we're going to go to top of the round, and it's the Kafak. So let me see here. I'm going to go ahead and toss this on here. So I'm going to, can you go ahead and target that thing on the combat tracker for me, please? The way I can keep you just click on it right in the combat tracker, even though it's not on the map. Yeah, just control click. Okay. So, all right. So we're at let's see. So yeah, you've got probably about 2 rounds until it starts getting into range of most of the other folks. What's just checking out really quick. Cal, what's the range on your weapon? Let's just see that. Oh, 120 feet. If it's 120 feet, you could actually start firing at it now. You're just going to be at a 1 range increment penalty because I yeah, well I don't, is your weapon set up to be uh 250 meters? What's the sniper? I thought it was, that's where it was, but you were positioning in a place where you were at sniper range, and I think your sniper range was supposed to be 250 feet, correct? Okay. So 250 feet for your sniper range. So it moved 60 feet. So it is now at 190. So I can I can let me see if I can get it to the point where it's actually at that range. Uh, there we go. We can say like that. There 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 is. I've actually got them at it right now. I'm just trying to get it adjusted out so that everything's balanced out right now. Uh, there we go. Yep. Yep, the October 28th we'll get the Fantasy Grounds beta. So um, that means it's basically hopefully the day after our next game, beta will be out. So I don't think our game on the 3rd will play with it, but hopefully sometime in November or if it's not all that stable, December we'll play with it. But hopefully everything works out to be good. I'd be happy to run, a quick once off, maybe like a dungeon or something, like kind of like a one-off game if you guys wanted to try out the beta. All right, so yeah, I think all the as far as I can see right now, I've got it set up. Uh, uh, all of the actual ranges should be set up, so everyone should have their range increments and everything set up right now. It's just a grid map for me right now. So yeah, this Kafak is basically just barreling down. It's much larger, much faster, much heavier, and like I said, every single leg of this centipede-like body, crab-like body, it just slamming into the ground. It just feels like a truck slamming into the ground. This thing is huge and much, much more dense than a normal creature. So, Cal, it's your turn. You're up. Okay. All right. Yep. So you hit, but again, it just bounces off the carapace. Uh, so Ghost One, your shot. Uh, yeah, you're in range, but you're gonna have to take whatever your attack penalties are for range increment. So I don't know what the. Let me look at your weapon here. 80 foot. So yeah, you're gonna. I think you're at like a neg 4 for range right now. Huh. But still, it's a chance to hit. Oh. Yeah, you've used up your allotment for the game. You're not allowed to roll ones anymore. Okay. Uh, yeah, that'll work just fine. Yeah, it's already so if you have it targeted in the combat tracker, it should already add in the range increment. So you don't need to manually apply the range increment. But yeah, that would work just fine. Well, your other one would have. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, okay. Oh, look at that. Nat 20. I'll even give you your trick attack because your roll at the beginning was good. Just so if you want to roll your trick attack damage, we can see what happens here. So, uh-huh. Okay. Yep, and roll just another D8 and I'll add that. Right, but you should get an extra one because it was a crit. So just give me another D8 and I'll adjust the hit points on it. Another 4. Nice. So, s- hmm. All right, so you're going to put it flat-footed? All right. You want to drag that onto it? Okay. And while you do that, I'm gonna just go ahead and move it down to Zano. He has, yeah, yep, he has natural thermal vision as part of his race. Yeah. The other thing that you do know, because you guys have fought these before, is they don't have eyes. Yeah, so they sense vibration. So they can sense you underground just as well as they can above ground. So like it's essentially the main thing that they're detecting is as they're getting shot at, they're just heading towards the source of the shots and the vibrations. Yeah, I mean you could maybe pick up a rock that's over off to a certain direction and like so essentially Cal is off to your right, Gustav is a little bit off to your left, and Ghost One is far further off to the left from him. I mean you could drop it over off to the right, let's say 20 feet beyond Cal, which there's nothing really over there. You could maybe pick up a rock and drop it to kind of make it sound like there's something in that area. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and just make a little ground pound uh, location on the map. So okay, yeah. So you're basically just picking up rocks and dropping them off to the side where it's not in an area that anyone's at, but it's within 30 feet of you. Gustav, what are you doing? Okay. Oh, nat one. All right. Yeah. Stop stealing his roles. So, okay. So what I can do is I can do this really quick. Okay, so yeah, no malfunction. It's just a miss. And is anyone planning on moving or doing anything? You guys are all kind of spread apart right now, so I don't think there's any real issue there. All right, so as you're doing that, the Kafak is essentially just rampaging towards you. So it is now, let's see, about 100 feet from Ghost One, 100 feet from, it's essentially about 100 feet from everybody except for Xano, which I think Xano could, I could just have you, I'm gonna, uh, let's see, I can, yep, so 95, there we go. So yeah, there it is. So it's a 95. It's 100 feet from everybody except for you, where it's about 95. And you've got that ground pound going off in a slightly different direction. It seems to have been moving kind of in between you guys, so it's probably about 100 feet from that ground pound as well. Uh, but unfortunately, there are several of the small kafaks that just appear as it comes running by. It's shaking the ground, and they just start burrowing up from the ground. And there's four of them at various ranges that come up. Okay. And it went ahead and made its move. Cal, it is your turn. So this thing appears to be wounded. Not it doesn't appear to be slowing down or anything. It's just wounded now. Okay. Okay. No, yep, no. So you're good. They both miss. So yeah, you take two shots. Neither one even hits it. They just hit the ground near it. Ghost one. Hmm. So as okay, okay. So just a regular shot, and it hits. Uh, so yeah, that is a hit. All right. So yeah, you okay? So take off that flat-footed. There you go. So yeah, you hit it. It loses its flat-footed, but um it's damaged a little bit more. So very good. Anything else? No, they're just bursting through the ground right now. It just seems the all the vibration from this big one rushing through seems to have kind of woken them in the area. Okay. All right. So, let's see here. So one of the Kafox is going to go ahead and move, and it's moving a little bit closer to the ground pound sound. All right. Xano. So the ground pound that you're doing where you're dropping the rocks, it seems to be attracting the smaller ones. Okay. So uh another Kafak. Let's see here from you. Uh about 80 feet is I'd say the closest one. Roughly, I'll as after this round, I'll pull up the map because things will start getting in to the range where you guys can start seeing stuff a little bit better. So one of them just starts drawing a little bit closer. Uh, Next one draws a little bit closer. We're up to Gustav. So you are at 100 feet. What's the range increment on your weapon? Uh, let's see here. Yeah, 70 feet. Okay, so yeah, you'd be at a -2 if you wanted to just trick shot it, or you can attack it without penalty if you want to use it sniper rifle style. Okay, roll it. Mm. Stop using the nat ones. We've gotten plenty of all sorts of results. Ones, 20s. Well, yeah, there you go. Ask them what they're doing to. Yeah. Okay. So anything else, or are you done for your round? Draw your pistol. Okay. So you draw your pistol. All right. So we've got one more Kafak, and it moves closer. And now we can end that. That's the end of the round. I'm going to go ahead and share the sheet. So you guys should have a vision. So what you got is you got a squiggly blob there, and that's where the thumping is happening. So Xano's just been picking up rocks in that area and dropping them there, trying to get them to thud onto the ground, and that seems to be where um, the Kafox have been attracted to. Okay. So, all right. So the large and in charge Kafak ends up making it all the way up there. And that is its turn. Cal, your turn. I still need to remind me after the game to install the height mod so I can set that for you. I keep forgetting to install it. Oh, well, they were off in the corner. So, yeah, yeah. What it was, I adjusted everybody's position to because I was trying to get I essentially put the kafak up in the very corner there, and I was trying to get it so that everyone would be essentially at the right distance. And then I know you were supposed to be 5 feet closer, so I ended up moving you up. So essentially, you were kind of like you were just a little bit off, but yeah, I can. I mean, you were probably supposed to be right there, right? Oh, there. Sure, that's fine. You can. That's fine. You can. Yep. So there you go. Yeah, because you said you wanted to be 5 foot closer. So what I did is I moved it so that as a distance, you were off to the side of him a couple of squares, and then you were at 90, or you were at like 155 feet away, where he was like 160. So yeah, I just tried to get that kind of to the point where you're about 5 foot closer to the thing. But yeah, there you go. So Ghost one, what did we? Or sorry, Cal, you rolled an attack and missed. Okay. Was there anything else that you wanted to do? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Ghost one. Yep. Okay. So no trick attack. I don't think you have a range penalty this time though, so that's good. Okay. Okay. All right. So the Kafox start moving a little bit closer to the ground and pound. Xano, you're gonna keep doing your ground and pound, or you're gonna do something else? I'm just gonna just do straight move. Typically it'd be Pathfinder rules, but I'm just gonna do straight move whatever it shows. So when if you move yourself and it shows 30 feet, then that's fine. So 5 foot per square. Oh, it just barely made its will save. Yeah, it does not have a very good will save, but it happened to roll pretty well. Okay, so you mind thrust it. Does mind thrust work on things with no intelligence score? Oh, so yeah, it is no intelligence. It is literally zero intelligence. It's just a essentially a maw that travels around eating stuff. It just senses vibrations and eats. So unfortunately, you try to mind thrust it and you're getting nothing. Yep, no mind to thrust. S- So one of them starts moving closer. Next one's moving closer. Gustav, you're up. What are you doing? Okay. Hey, there you go. Is your stealth ray? I thought we changed that last time. I thought it was supposed to be a plus 12. Oh, he gets a bonus for trick attack? Okay, that's what it is. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Nope. Again, yep. So this thing has, like I said, a hardened carapace. As you're shooting, your hits are landing. Almost always your hits are landing. They're just bouncing off of its shell. So you're just barely able to penetrate that shell. So the only things that really seem to penetrate it are when you're getting, you know, right in between some of the segments. Okay. Was there any movement or anything else you wanted to do? Okay. So, uh-oh. Oh, the ground and pound is gone now. Yeah, so they're basically they were moving in that general direction. But as you guys are shooting, they're probably gonna end up starting to move closer to you guys. So yeah, Kathak ends up coming up closer, and that's it. So the big boy. So as it's being attacked, it is able to move right up to you and sorry, right up to Gustav, as the last person who landed a blow on it, and it is going to attack with its claw. Hits AC 23 or 7 points of damage. So let's see here. Um, so yeah, it basically lands a giant claw, just rips through your armor. The claw, it doesn't even feel like as it's just kind of tearing into you, it doesn't even feel like you're being hit by a claw or a tooth from an animal. It feels like serrated steel basically just tearing into your flesh. It just absolutely uh, just rips into you, like fighting a giant steak knife, just ripping through your flesh. Nope. Cal. So you see this thing rip into Gustav, leaves a fairly nasty wound in him. Okay. And actually, as Ghost One, as you're doing that, you're noticing at the commotion that's happening here is causing other Cathocks to start popping up. So we've got a few more here. Yep, no, it's move and attack, or move and trick attack, or double attack. Mm. Sure. Okay. Okay. Hey, got that one. Nice. That hits. And you're gonna put it flat-footed too. All right. Didn't give you the trick attack damage. So just go ahead and give me your trick attack damage and nice. Okay. So yeah, that wound seems to have uh, uh, done some significant damage. So as excuse me, as you kind of run past it, blast into the back of it, you manage to put your laser beam right between two pieces of the carapace where it meets, and it burns through, leaving a hole that's just smoking and with just viscous fluid sputtering out of the hole, just almost like a boiling wound. So very nice. And okay, so next, as you're doing that, let's see, one's coming up towards you. Other one's coming up towards you. Well, they're not attacking. They're just moving. Uh, y- yep, they're double movement. So they didn't move much. They popped up pretty close to you actually. So they've got 20 feet of movement, but 40 feet if they're moving double. Xano? Okay. Hits. All right. Dead. Great. So let's see here. So yeah, this the one who would be normally going next right now is dead. So um so yeah, basically you're able to just land a shot and roast the thing. uh, so another one comes up to Ghost One. Never heard 3 hit points decide described as massive damage. Yes. So these things do not appear to be nearly as robust. They seem to almost be like small spawn, uh, a lot less uh, a lot less potent than the ones you guys have previously encountered. But it doesn't make them any less dangerous. So we got that. Uh, ready to go like that. Ghost One has a bunch of them on him. Gustav. Now you've got one right on you. It's pretty badly wounded. Okay. And again, you hit it, but it's just not penetrating the carapace. The laser weapons seem to have a lot easier time of penetrating the carapace on these than the ballistics do. Okay. Now, as you move out while doing a trick attack, does it get an attack of opportunity? Okay. So I will just count it as a -4 modifier, and I will roll that attack. Um, Unfortunately, though, these things are pretty nasty. Oh, but it gets that nat one. So let me see here. How bad was that nat one? Not bad. It takes a swing at you and just slams its claw into the ground right where you were standing a moment ago. But that's it. Okay. All right. So as it's slamming its claw into the ground, you guys happen to notice a couple more of these little Kafak spawn spring up. There you go. And they spring up and start sensing around for prey. And that is it. All right. So this Kafak is going to try to catch up to you. It seems to have liked the taste of your uh yeah, your uh sure if he wants to take an attack of opportunity, but he's not using a melee weapon. Yeah, I don't think you get an attack of opportunity if you're not using a or if you're using ranged. I think it's just if you're using a melee weapon. So, yeah, so it moves up to you, but it doesn't have enough time to attack. So that's its entire turn. Cal? So you've got one small one and you've got the big one both on Gustav. You've got a pile of them on Ghost 1 though. Okay, there you go. That's gonna hit. Nice. And you drop it. So how'd you do it? Hmm. Hmm. Nice. So you basically hit it right in the sensory organs and it just finally drops down. So got one here. Okay. So it moves up there. Ghost one, you've got a mess of these things on you. He would have to disengage, and then once he disengages, he can use his full movement. Here, would you like me to lock the tokens? Would that make it easier to move? Uh, that's odd. I don't know why it's. Yeah, you'd have to take that one step diagonal. Let me see here. It is not letting me lock the tokens though. Not okay for me. I don't know why it's not letting me lock the tokens. I'm right clicking on the map. Maybe that's it. Yeah, there we go. Lock tokens. So there we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so tokens are locked. Yep. Disengage that bottom right there. Okay. So you do your disengage. Nope. I believe you can only do a single move unless you got something to let you disengage for free. So it's gonna. Okay. Okay. There we go. So yep, you end up running away. Yep. Okay. So as you're doing this, uh, we have a couple more that start popping up. So, Sano, you have one that's just appeared next to you. Hmm. Yeah, I think you can. So these things are pretty heavily armored. So when you guys do the full attacks, it makes it a lot harder to go through, but it gives you the chance to hit multiple of them. So it's kind of a trade-off, or gives you multiple chances to hit. But with the heavy armor, it still makes it makes your hard difficulty a little bit harder. But yeah, if you're if you're using projectile weapon, um, they're really tough to get through. So you probably wouldn't want to be multiple attacking. But if you're using like an energy weapon, you have a decent chance of getting through these. So okay, so I'm gonna have it go ahead and target you and roll its claw. Oh. Oh, yeah, not it. So basically, it sees you, pulling out and getting ready to shoot, and it just digs a claw right into your gut. You can feel what feels like a steak knife sliding between your ribs and into your flesh, and you don't feel like it's hit anything vital, but it definitely hurts. Yep, you should. I think if you target two, maybe it'll do one of each. I don't know. We'll find out. It won't. So, 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 so those are both going to hit. Yep. Out 16's six six. All right. No, don't worry about it though. 16's are going to hit. So even that, even with hitting them with batteries, you hit them and killed them. So you you grab batteries and just start chucking batteries at them, killing them off. So so that works. All right, so Kafak 2 is dead. It was Kafak 13. Was that the other one that you attacked? One threatening Gustav? Oh, 19. Okay. So 19. And that 19 kind of gives you an idea of how many of these things there are here. You guys are in an area infested with these things. So yeah, you basically shoot into the one that's right on you, turn around, blast the one that's on Gustav, and pull out like some serious John Wick, which kind of looks like your icon there. So yeah, so yeah, you end up taking them out here pretty quick. So next one is we've got a Kafak here. That is one of them that just burst through the ground. The next one is one that just burst through the ground. So this one's gonna just keep moving this way. Okay. And this one goes ahead and gets up to you. Gustav. Um, yeah, I'll go for it. Sure. We'll say it doesn't have cover. You've got an 1 and 11. Go for it. Oh wow. Because you did a full attack on two of them. Full attack doesn't split it between them. So we'll just take your first two. The we're just gonna say the one on number one missed, but the one on number 11 hit. So go ahead and roll your damage on just number 11. So on target number one, roll your damage. Okay. So number 11 is down, and that's full attack. So you're done. All right. So you got one that goes ahead and moves up towards you, as you're the last one firing. This one's gonna go ahead and move up to Ghost One and make an attack. Oh, geez. And he manages to hit. Not that much damage though. Pretty mild. Whoa. Wait a second. Massive. Why? Why did that say massive damage and dead? Uh, that. Yeah, that is very odd. Uh, I mean, yeah. Okay. On so on my side, I see damage claw type slashing 1d6 equals 1. Effect dead massive damage 2 ghost 1. Damage 0 2 ghost 1 absorbed status dead. So Yeah, and it has affects dead massive damage from taking 1 point of damage. That's weird. I mean, I can let me oops, let me there we go. Uh I mean, yeah, yeah. Well, it's massive damage for the Kafak, but it's not massive damage for you, and it says it applied it to you. So that's weird. Okay, well, I'm going to remove the effect from you. I believe I already have here. Oh, let's oh, there we go. Yeah, I don't know why. So you should be taking 1 point of wound. Like I said, it shows that oops, no, I'm sorry. It's no wound. Yeah, no, it should so it should be your yeah, your fatigue. So that should be fine. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I am entirely not sure why it did that. That is definitely a bug. 'Cause it everything's targeted right. You know, I see it's targeting you, it's not targeting any of the others. But yeah. All right, well, we'll deal with that. So we'll just go ahead and move on. Yeah. Just but a scratch as your head goes flying off for some reason. Cal, top of the round, you're up. Yeah. Oh, unfortunately. Are you, did you want to move there then? Yeah. So, all right. Kafak. Are you on the ground or are you flying? Okay. So they aren't really, I mean, they can sense that you're there, but they don't have a ranged attack to really get to you. So, I'm gonna move there. Ghost one. You got that one on you. You've there's also one Kafak one on Xano. You've been excellent bait, that's for sure. Yeah, disengage. Yeah, yeah, guarded a guarded step. you're gonna pass that Kafak 1 going up there. So 16. Yep. So, yep, you're able to move right through without getting the attack. Also, doing some nice somersaults along the way, making lots of nice little uh, yeah, pounding sounds on the ground, kind of drawing some attention towards you. All right. All right. Anything else? Okay. So you're basically going through there. Okay. As you're doing this, you realize your stomp, stomp, stomp is very effective. Okay. Okay. Yep. He did. This, he would have made the attack except Ghost was doing the acrobatics and basically makes it an automatic miss. So no attack of opportunity from him. 10, the one hits on 10. So you can go ahead and apply damage to that one. Nice. And 10 is down. Okay. So 16 is going to get up to Ghost 1 and give a claw attack and misses. 4 gets up to Ghost 1 but does not have actions left to attack. 17 just popped up and is looking around. 3 popped up and is looking around. 7 popped up and is looking around. So they basically use their actions to pop up. 1 is on Xano, and so we're gonna make sure he's targeting Xano here. Make a claw attack, and a 19 will hit for 3 points. And you're dead. You're dead. I don't know why it's doing that. Ah. Yeah, yeah. some reason they are auto killing you guys. I don't know why. There's some yeah. So the only thing I've done that's different on these guys is I went through and set all of their hit points to 1. So maybe there's something when I manually set all their hit points to 1 because they're essentially just spawned. They're supposed to be you know, yeah, not when they hit you. But it's weird because it's not even applying like prone and it's not applying any of the other stuff that I think would normally apply when it's dead, just like dead instantly. So yeah, and you can see. I mean, I'm looking at my log. It shows that it's attacking him, hitting him, doing the damage to him, but then it applies dead to him for whatever reason. So we can apply we can send the stream over to Fantasy Grounds and let them know there's some bug in this. So fun stuff. Okay, so yeah, he hits you, does a couple points of damage. Looks like it was absorbed, so not again. It feels basically like a steak knife, you know, slashing through your skin, but it doesn't seem to have done anything more severe than that. Um, Gustav, you're up. So you've got 1 on you. You got 20 on you. You got yep. So you can just roll a double attack, and then we'll just say the first one goes to 20, which is on you. The second one goes to 9, and just don't even bother having anything targeted. And I'll just tell you if they hit. Okay. So the one that attacks on you, so for 20, it hits, but it bounces off of its hardened carapace, and then you completely miss 9. Okay. So 20 is going to go ahead and attack you. It hits a 15, so it hits you, but does not penetrate your armor. And that is the end of the round. Cal, you are up. Now you see Kafak 1 has attacked Xano, has done a pretty decent amount of damage to him. There's a couple of them closing in on Gustav, and several of them on Ghost 1 right now. Okay. Oh, that one. Let's just make sure. Just normal miss, no oddities. All right. So, yeah, there's been a lot of ones this game. All right, so this one's moving up here. It is going to go ahead and target Gustav, drop a claw. Hey, there's another nat one. At least that one's in your favor. So, just gonna toss this out. Nope, it just missed. It basically takes a stab at you and just slams its claw into the ground. Ghost 1, you're up. We got 3 of them on you. You can tr you can try attacking. You can try moving. What are you thinking? Um, yeah, I think you can do that. If you, yeah, so they are, I can tell you here, their CRs are 1/3. So it actually only adds one, but I think it's, isn't it like double their, like, yeah, so tumble, so yeah, that's, uh, right. But so if you attempt to move through multiple threatened spaces or opponents through the round, you must succeed at a check for each space, and the DC of each check beyond the first increases by 2. So it's basically a 16 for the first one, and then an 18, and then 20. Okay, so that's the second one, and third one. Okay, so one of them is going to get an attack on you. Okay, so we're gonna. So I'm gonna. He's already got you targeted, so I'm gonna just go roll that. Uh, so I'll go ahead and give him a -4 to hit then, unless mobility's already calculated. I don't know if you've got that on there already. Okay, so yep, basically it just puts him at even to hit you. So a 9 does not hit, so no extra damage. Okay, and then you're gonna go ahead and move off over there. Okay, roll that attack. Oh, what was it? Oh, you get half the movement. Okay, so let me. So you were there. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. So you can. Yeah, you move there. Hmm. That's okay. It hits. It doesn't. Well, it doesn't get. No, sorry, it doesn't get trick attack though. Oh, because I don't think you can do. Can you do acrobatics as part of a trick attack? I mean, do you get the? You don't. I don't think you get the benefits of tumble with a trick attack, do you? Where you can escape the. I think you would get a tumble to move and then a regular attack, or you could, make a tumble trick attack if you wanted to. But I don't think you get the advantage of it. So I think it doesn't matter though. They only have one hit point, so the trick attack really the trick attack doesn't. So just doesn't matter if you hit or not. Yep. Okay, that hits. So roll your damage and it is dead. There we go. Okay. Clock one that was on Xano down. All right, that works. All right. So these guys are going to try to stay on you. So that one's going to move up to you and go ahead and get an attack in. Uh, and it hits, but is blocked by your armor. Xano, nothing's on you right now. You see two of them on Gustav. One of them on Ghost One, who just killed the one that was on you. Okay. Okay. Yep. So does not hit. Let me just check to make sure there's no weapon malfunction, anything. Just a normal miss. Excuse me. So, uh, moves up to there, and that moves up to there. So they're basically just as Ghost One is tumbling around the field, just basically just drawing them towards him. That one moves up to there. That one moves up to there. That one moves over to there. He's being a very good distraction. As he does that, you guys see three more start popping up. Yeah, I mean, technically, if you got a lot of them in a good radius, that could be a pretty useful tactic. Okay, so yeah, these guys just kind of pop up and from all the tumbling action that's going on. Gustav, you've got two on you. So, question for you, Gustav, do you have any energy weapons? Because you notice the energy weapons seem to burn through their carapace pretty well. Okay. Eh, Too bad. Too bad you don't have explosive, because explosive would be half energy damage and half kinetic. Yep. The gun that's in the truck that nobody brought with them. The gun that's about 500 meters away, honestly. I mean, the truck's not that far. Hey, there you go. You can roll damage if you want. Just pick the two and give yourself the damage. Yeah. So they've got one hit point, but yeah, just go and roll your damage. And then we'll take those two down. So that was 9 and 20. Very good. And 20 was actually going to act right after you. So that's great. And 9 was going to act right after Cal. So that's great too. All right. Awesome. So we can go ahead and go on up to Cal. Top of the round. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. All right. So it's well, 15 foot. 15 foot wouldn't that take out more? If Yeah, that would hit all of them except for the one that's right on Ghost One. So yeah, 15 foot hits all of those. So 17 is dead. So we've got 3 is dead. We got 7 is dead. We got 4 is dead. And we got 16. Where's 16 here? Is dead. There you go. Nice. So before you finish up there, um, the massive explosion that you do, that rumbling happens to draw out a few more. And there you go. Ghost one, it is your turn. You got 1 on you. Healing the dead ones. I wish. It was it was a swarm of these things is 10 to 40. So uh so yeah, you hit and did damage and dead. So 13 is gone. All right. Xano. All right, no, did you have some movement or something else you're gonna do, Ghost One? Okay, Xano. Okay. Yeah, the batteries work great. Chucking batteries at them was like the most effective strategy we've had so far. So the one for I'm just doing it closest first. So the one for 14 missed, but the one for 15 hit. All right. So 15's down. All right. Kafak 8 goes ahead, moves up towards Ghost 1, and that's all he can do. 14 moves up towards Xano. That's all he can do. These new ones just popped up. Gustav, you're gonna move? Okay. Move and shoot. How do you get double ones? What? There's a lot of ones coming out today. But okay, so okay. Luckily though, your one, I'm not going to count your second one as the roll for critical effect, but I'm going to count mine, which was a 2. So that's still not a double one on my book, but so you didn't have a weapon malfunction, just a normal miss. So yeah, attack, move, you should be done, right? Yeah, not doing well on the RNG today. And the Kafox all have the last of the Kafox have just kind of burst up and gotten their bearings. Cal, it is on you now. That's crazy. Okay. Um, 6 on my side though, so just a miss. Ghost 1. This has been the game with the most ones I have ever seen. This is like a crazy amount of ones. Okay. 8's gonna get an attack of opportunity on you. Okay. A neg 4, right? Oh, okay. Okay. Got a 2, so you are safe. Only equal to be a 6, so he completely swiped it, you missed. Um, so the first one misses, the second one hits. So you were attacking 8 and was it 8 and 14? Okay. 8, yep, hit 14. Okay, and 14 is dead. All right. Sano, what are we doing here? Okay. You go to move and hits. There we go. Dead. So 8 is dead. Now we've just got the new ones left. So, excuse me, the late arrivals to the party. They're gonna go ahead and make their way in towards you guys. And Gustav. Okay. So 6 will be first because it's closest. 18's the second. So go ahead and roll your full attack. Looking for 12s for these guys. So the one on 6 misses, but 18 hits. All right. So that one's dead. So, and can't move as part of a full attack. You either get double shot or you get a move and an attack. Oh, okay. Yep, no, no problem. Yep, there you go. So, that last Skiplock starts moving up. And Cal, it's on you. Another nat one? Holy crap. Okay. No, no, no weapon malfunction. That is, this is a ridiculous amount of nat ones today. Luckily, these things are not overly deadly. Ghost one. The one who I think has rolled the least nat ones today. I think you've only rolled what, two or three? We're okay for 6 and 12. Oh, yep, both miss. Okay, yeah, with the split attack, I don't think there's a lot left you can do. Xano, what do you got going on? We got two more of these little spawn to clean up. Sure. Hits and dead. So 6 is going to come up and target Ghost 1 with a claw attack. 15, so he hits and scrapes into your armor, but isn't doesn't manage to pass through. Gustav. Okay. Well, it just target it and do your damage, and we're done. All right, dead. Sweet. So, so you guys managed to clean up the rest of the spawn here. The big one is just massive. The little ones seem to be just as deadly as the ones before. They just seem to be a little bit more juvenile, smaller. They seem to go down pretty easily. Not that the other ones were all that tough, but they just seem to go down a lot easier. But otherwise, they are very similar to the ones you guys have been fighting before. So with that, do you guys want to go ahead and loot and figure out what's going on here? Yeah. Uh, Yeah, so you guys are still within sight of the truck. If you remember, you're about 500 meters in when you started, spotting these things. So you're still within visual distance of the truck. If you want to, you know, load up those the pile of carapace that you've got here onto there. As far as equipment goes, though, they don't really have anything on them. They are very much a vermin, so nothing big there. But their carapace are worth a lot more. So yeah, I was gonna say it's actually a good time to take a break if everyone wanted to, and then we can meet back up in 5 minutes. Okay. Mm. Yep. Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to spend the time, each carapace is worth about 50. If you guys, work together on it, I won't even make you roll. I mean, if all four of you guys want to just sit there and just kind of cut them up and scrape the carapace out, I'd say each one of you can do, uh, like say 5 in an hour. So you guys would be able to get pretty much all of them done in about an hour. That's fine. I'm not gonna make you guys roll for it. You're familiar with it enough now. So there's 21 of them total. So you spend about 10-15 minutes on each one, and you get it all done in an hour. So you guys can do that if you like. And then what we can do is we can cover what they were munching on when we get back. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay. What's that? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Didn't they do a That 90s Show? I thought they did one. Or at least I I don't know if it was specifically called That 90s Show, but I thought they had one that was like set in the early 90s that they ended up doing like 5 years later or something. Maybe it was an 80s show. Maybe I'm just mistaken on that. All right, so we're just waiting for Zano to get back, and then we should be good to go. Hmm. Do 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 do. All right. All right, so everyone's back. Okay, so as you guys go through and kind of round up and drag all the Kafox up to a central point where you can start processing them, you notice that uh, the thing that they were munching on appears to be some sort of a transport shuttle. It looks to be rather old too. Like this has been here for at least decades, if not longer. And they were chewing through it a good deal. So there's some pretty big gaping holes into it. But it looked to be a small personal transport, not like Much like you'd have like a like a family car type thing. It's not gonna. It's just a little two-seat transport. Inside of the transport is a dead body.